Hi, good morning. Frankie, say good morning. Good morning. He was thinking it. Okay, how are you this morning? Oh my goodness. Excuse me. We got our first little snow this morning. I don't know. Winters here in Tennessee are kind of like that. You never know what you're going to get for a winter. But whatever it is, I'm ready for it. I have warm clothes. I have a new HVAC. I'm not terrified of getting mold poisoning anymore. I'm feeling healthy, so I don't have to be, caged in. I can bundle up and get outside if I want to. You know, sometimes we get cabin fever because it's just so nasty outside. We don't want to go outside. But it doesn't mean we can't go outside. There's a big difference. It's funny that as we age and see more, experience more, we start to think about things just a little bit differently over time until we go, oh, aha. And that's one of the things that's just come to me recently is even before I got sick, I would say things that were not necessarily true. I like to have this rule: say what I mean what I say, and don't say it mean. I love that little ditty. I got that from Al-Anon years ago. If you don't have a healthy coffee, I'm not going to beat you up. I have yummy coffees as often as possible. Frankie, don't do it. Frankie, come on. Frankie, don't. Frankie, come. Come. Good boy. Were you up to trouble? Were you up to trouble? I think he was up to trouble. That's why I called him back. Okay, jump. Come on, jump. Frankie, jump. Oh my God, why are you so... Where are you going? Where are you going? Mama loves you. He's so sensitive. I don't know why I would ever yell at him. Ugh. Sorry I yelled at you. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I really try to be clear, especially when you remember that your brain believes you. Whenever, it's kind of, think about if you were talking to a computer, it is going to analyze what you say and try to make it make sense, and then it will deliver the information in accordance to your input. Excuse me. So, understand that you may not think you're that smart, but even if you're not, this is why I think some people don't take this information seriously. They think, well, I'm not that smart, so my brain can analyze what I'm trying to say. It's not going to fine-tune everything. Yes, it does. Your brain, just like a calculator doing simple addition, it only adds up what information you're giving it. That's true, right? So, when I was, I can't believe how sneaky self-talk is, because I've known this for years, and I really have worked very hard on changing certain things I think about. But I have actually, even when I was healthy, would say, I feel so caged in. I feel so trapped. and not realize that then my brain would adapt to that and say, I feel caged in, which makes your body produce chemicals that help enforce that belief system. Just like, I'm anxious, I'm so anxious, I'm so worried. See, your face even, the brain chemicals have to react to push your body physiology to create the facial wrinkles and to create the tone, right? So your whole body's reacting to these thoughts. So whether you're single, saying, I wish I had a husband, I wish I had a husband. It's like you stay in this I wish form. Therefore, the pheromones in the body don't smell as attractive to healthy people, right? Because we can smell in a room. We can walk into a room, an empty room, and smell and go, someone was in here. And you can almost tell if it was a feminine or masculine, or if it was an attractive smell or a scary smell. Come on, you've had that happen at least once, right? So, when I was saying, God, I feel so caged in, I got more and more depressed. When I say, I know I could go outside if I wanted to, I get this kind of cute smile, this kind of little twisted sense of humor, and then I'm more apt to be able to talk myself into getting off my lazy behind. So it was making me think of some more serious things. I don't know what it is about holidays and having someone we care about pass away, but it happens to a lot of people. A lot of my clients, a high number of my clients and acquaintances have lost people they love recently. And often, sorry, my sinuses are just going crazy the last few days. I think it just knew that the weather was changing. And so here we are. Let me get a fresh hanky. So one of the things that happens is that humans forget what they've watched other friends and relatives and TV people go through. We watch people, when they lose someone, they spin out. Whether it's financially, emotionally, and socially, there's a lot of fallout to a high percentage of people when someone passes. Now, there are some people, excuse me, who are prepared for someone to pass. You know, especially if they've been in hospice or if they've had a long-term illness or they've been suicidal for a long time. A lot of people are prepared at a certain level where the financial shock isn't there. The emotional shock isn't there. You know, it's not that it doesn't still hurt. It's not that it doesn't still change your life because you give up. There's no hope to not give up or give up. It's gone. But I just want to make this point that people forget that they're human beings, and they forget what they know sometimes when they're under pressure. Even as simple as forgetting what I know about feeling caged. I know about words. I know how important words are. And yet, I use those words. I know how to process death and dying. But going through it, we can forget those things. I've done that myself. But because I've had so much experience with it, it's made it a little easier. What do I want to put on my face today? So that's why I'm sharing. You know what? I'm going to try this zero pore stuff. Where did I get this? Off Amazon or Temu or something. See what it does. It's supposed to fill in pores. It's supposed to be a dupe of something, but I don't know. Can you tell me what it is? I don't know. Anyway. Remember, if you lose someone to death and you've been roommates with them, the first thing you need to do is make sure that month's rent is paid. Rent should always be on auto pay. It should. I fought auto pay for a long time until I realized that whether I was depressed or not, my bills got paid. And when you know that someone's going to die within so much time, they've been sick, they've been ailing, that's an especially important reason to have your things on auto pay. I don't think some people let you even sign up anymore, or they give such a good discount if you sign up for auto pay. There's no reason to not be on auto pay. I don't know if this stuff's even worth taking up space in my drawer, to tell you the truth. I just don't know. Huh. Well, I just don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Everything should be on auto pay. And also, that gives you a chance to have like a breakdown. You know what I mean? Breakdown. It gives you a chance to just kind of melt into your bed. It gives you a chance to take care of funeral stuff. It gives you a chance to let people love you. People don't take enough time. Oh, I dropped some. There it is. Oh, it's way under there. Hold on. I'll be right back. Oh. Okay. Make sure this is wiped off. I just cleaned the floors recently, but you know, you gotta keep your makeup as clean as possible. We don't really keep our makeup stuff as clean as possible. We're too busy. We're too busy. Anyway, because we're going to have an emotional, mental breakdown. We're going to go into a panic. And it's our way of not facing how much we're going to miss a person when we start to focus on finances. How am I going to afford my home? How am I going to afford this? How am I going to afford that? Well, remember, You're not stupid. You're not dumb. You know what you can afford long term before someone, especially when you expect the death. You know how you make a living. You know how you bring in income. You know you've never let yourself go hungry. You know how to find another job if you lose this one. You know that you did not live outside your means. And so when the dust settles, give it a couple weeks. Then start worrying about finances. Especially if you've lived within your means at all and your rent is paid for a month, give yourself a couple weeks. If you're in a mortgage situation, how am I going to afford this house? Well, slow down, slow down, slow down. Take a breath. You've been able to afford the house so far, right? So you will probably get help from somebody to help you make those decisions. And you can always talk to someone at your bank about decisions. It's a free service. You can go in and ask them about any investments that you have. You can tell them that the situation you're in and ask them how they would best approach that situation. Don't underuse the things that you already have for free. Like, for instance, I did AAA for decades. I didn't even know that the car insurance that I had included the same towing package. And I could get travel instructions from a GPS now. And that's the two reasons I had AAA. It was so hard to let go because I was just used to it. Well, remember, bank has to do with money, and they help you manage your money. That's what they're there for. You're spending money on something that you already have. You don't have to go pay somebody extra money to get basic sound budgeting information. And if you're running low on money, here's the thing. Mortgages right now, well, for a while now, have been in the same ballpark as renting an apartment. And if you cut down on anything that's not necessary and pull in those bills that you don't really need, like how much for cable TV? My gosh, you pay an electric bill for how much cable costs. Quit spending money on fancy, expensive makeup and body wash and perfume. Pull in and start using generic labels. You got enough money now to pay your water bill every month and trash bill. I tried a moisturizer, this side note, I tried a moisturizer recently because it was the holidays and they were having those, and I fell for it and I swore I would never do it. But Amazon has a payment history. Always click on that, or price history. Always click on that. I bought a little jar of Neutrogena. This isn't it. It's about this size. It's a little taller. But it's heavy glass. And so there's very little product on the inside of facial moisturizer because it's supposed to make you look 7 years younger. It was on TV. And my spouse says, oh, you should get yourself some of that. And in the old days, I would have thought, you fucker. Excuse me. But instead I said, you know what? I'm going to order that. Picked up my phone, ordered some. It was like $30. And then it came with this cute little sample size of facial wash, which, can't lie, I did like it. But do I look 7 years younger? No. Did I enjoy using it? Yes. $30 a month is how much that would cost. And that's if I only use exactly a pea size. because that's small. So anyway, I did some research and realized my great big tub of CeraVe at under $20 lasts me 6 months or a year, and I can keep refilling my little jar for my makeup table, right? Because I am always, always, always ready for my partner to pass away. He has been so sick off and on during our marriage, that so ill. His health has been so unpredictable, even. Predictable and unpredictable. Why am I yelling? Anyway, I decided to always make sure that I am living within my means. And if I splurge, I'm aware that that splurge is not going to hurt my overall financial security. It's not a monthly draw for makeup. I had to sign up for subscription to get $2 off of it. And I had to go back in and cancel that, because even though I like it, I know it's not worth $30 a month. You can spend the time that I have, if you like, on looking at how products affect your skin. Just remember, it's kind of like Botox, but in a much, much smaller scale. Botox is temporary. It can, it's a botulism almost. It stuns some of the muscles in your face. That's why it's kind of risky, as far as, I don't know what the long-term effect is over decades of time. I know I did it about every 6 months for probably 6 months to a year for probably, I don't know, I'm going to say 10 years. And then when I really got to thinking about my life and how I was feeding my body, there are a lot of things I did not change because I decided it was too stressful. But one of the things I did give up is the Botox. And I just decided it was something that financially I did not need to spend money on. And I was getting to the age where me looking a few years younger and a little less stressed wasn't helping my business, because I did it for marketing. Well, first I did it to be cute because I was single. I thought it would help me be more presentable. It didn't give me a better classic eye. My behavior, my change of thought got me a little bit better classic eye. Looks had absolutely nothing. I never had a problem attracting men. I had a problem with my picker. My picker was fractured, let's say. Anyway. So anyway, that was easy for me to give up. Why do I have this shade of eyeshadow? I don't think it's a gray color. I got it because I thought it would help my eyebrows blend with my hair, because my hair can be so gray in some lighting. But I think I just got to a point where I just want my makeup to sort of blend with my face as much as possible. That way I make less mistakes on my hair. So I'm going to try it, and then I just don't think gray is a blend color for me. I think I have a weird, cool, warm complexion. I don't know. Let's see what this does with my eyebrows. I just don't think it blends as well as I was hoping, and I have not been using it. have not. Let's wear it today. See what happens. Okay, so I just want you to be aware that it's important to be financially smart. Please be financially smart. Excuse me. There are too many ways to budget, too many helpful tips on GPT. You can put your budget in a GPT and it'll write you out something. There is no reason whatsoever to suffer not having your budget done. It just doesn't. It just isn't necessary. It's one of the easiest ways to prepare for someone's death. And honestly, people used to depend on their spouse's Social Security to help financially. Well, there have been some laws that some people aren't aware of. And people don't talk about it enough because people don't like talking about being poor or having financial issues. It's not as social. Living off of somebody else's Social Security is not as lucrative as you think. Take a look. There's some YouTube channels for people who are retired. Put in retired or put in death benefit, Social Security for spouse. And you're going to find out that if you're depending on that for income, think again and reevaluate your financial situation. Figure out how to live. Figure out how to get your house paid off. Figure out how to do that. Don't let yourself be victim of not having the right shade of gray. What? Don't let yourself fall victim of financial insecurity. Being financial insecure can be one of the most stressful things a person can go through. And when you put it on top of the trauma and drama of someone passing away that you depended on financially, it's horrible. And here's one of the things that a lot of people don't think about. If someone dies at home, sometimes you have to do CPR until the medics arrive. If you don't, there's a lot of guilt. And if they don't survive, there's a lot of guilt. And then you have the trauma. It's called acute PTSD instead of chronic PTSD. They don't usually differentiate them like they used to. But people who have been in car accidents or people who have been in a death situation can very often have what's called acute PTSD, or used to be called that. That means it's like real life PTSD that lasts like 29 days. And that's where you have visions of the person underneath your hands as you're applying compressions or trying to give them mouth to mouth if they had drowned. It imprints on your brain for about 30 days. And it's heartbreaking. It's awful. It creates nightmares. It creates daydreams, daymares. So when you're going through all that, and then you have to go back to work, because how many days do we get off work to go through a funeral, even for a spouse? And then we're moody and grouchy, all the things that come with PTSD. And how we're getting along with other people and how long are they going to put up with us. And then our self-esteem is reeling. It can be horrible. That's why it's important that if you associate financial insecurity with smart thinking, smart budgeting, smart preparation, on your daily life, then when these traumas, dramas, and heartbreaks come up, you don't have to be so worried. Okay. If I back up the eyeliner, it doesn't look quite so dramatic. And if I add a little more color to my eyelid, maybe it won't look quite so dramatic. I don't know. I don't know if I care about this gray as much. What do you think? There, add a little brown to it. Give me a little color. My heart goes out to the loss, because it's always so normal to think, what could I have done? How could I have been a better daughter? A better whatever? How could I have been a better friend? How could I have, what? You know, that, what, I wish I would have said a little something different at this time or that time, or spent that extra time. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Instead of looking at, wow, let's just think of, let's start picking out all the wonderful memories that I'm grateful I had, because that person had that personality, right? Keep focusing on the positive, unless you need to cry, right? People say, oh, we had a celebration of life, or we're going to have one. But yet, the self-centered part of us is mad that we have to live without them, that they left us, that we feel ripped off. And how could we possibly survive without them? Instead of how grateful I am that I had them in my life, the lessons I learned from them, and how they fed my soul so I can have a better life because I knew them, right? So give yourself time to heal from that and calm down about the finances, because you're smart. You have your finances in order no matter what. I like living as if I have one income. House repairs have to be done at a certain time. There is no brand new car. There is no brand new very often. If I splurge on Amazon on a new purse, I have buyer's remorse for months. Half of this stuff I order goes back. I have to really love it. It has to be meaningful, and it has to be productive at some level. So keep that in mind. Life is less shocking when you're prepared for things that are inevitable. Life and death are inevitable. Finances going up and down are inevitable. Jobs, no jobs, health, no health are inevitable. Be prepared in a smart way. All right, that's all I got for you today. And have a good one. Bye for now.